Aloha and welcome to my channel. My name is Simran Shakti, and this evening I will be guiding us through an evening unwind flow. So we're going to spend more time in the postures, do less, and we're going to start though with a little shake to shake off the day and some standing movement, and then we'll come down to our mats and just kind of settle in, allow the body to rest and relax open. But I know for me, at the end of the day, sometimes I have a little bit more to spend. So before we begin, make sure that you have 2 blocks. We'll be using the blocks for some of our postures. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. There will be ways to do the poses without them. And then also have 1 blanket. Instead of props, if you don't have, you could use pillows. And then you could also use a folded up blanket. So let's go ahead and stand up. And you won't be able to see my head for this part because it's going to get cut off in the video, but my head will still be here, I promise. So standing, and you can just be facing any way. We'll spend about 2 to 3 minutes shaking. So any way that feels good for you with the intention to just shake off the day. Blowing out your lips, making funny faces. And let it feel authentic. Let it come from whatever your body needs right now. If you notice yourself getting caught in one movement pattern, see if you can get erratic with it. Shake it up, shake it out. Just go for about 30 more seconds. And then start to come to stillness. Stillness within the shake. You bring your hands to your hips. And we'll just circle, going in one direction, moving as slow as feels good to you. Go the other direction. Massaging out the low back, opening up the womb, the low belly, the hip flexors. Good. We'll bring our hands to our knees, and it's kind of like standing cat-cow. So your feet are wider than hip width. Lift your toes, spread them, plant them. We'll inhale, lift the gaze, allow the navel to drop. Exhale, round, chin to chest. Just do this a few more times. It's okay if your shoulders are pressing towards your ears. Once more. Good. Inhale to roll up. Reach your arms, circle them up, palms together, little back bend, tuck your tail. Exhale, hands down through heart center. And before we sit, we'll just do a little ankle release. So you can have hands to your hips, and you'll just set your right toes back behind you. And just draw some circles in one direction. So starting off on the top of the foot, go the other direction. And beginning to just notice wherever your breath is at. We got our heart rate up a little bit. Plant your right foot, roll out the left ankle, one direction. And as you notice your breath, it may shift other direction with your ankle. But no need to change anything about your breathing. Rather, just notice and observe how you're breathing right now. Good. And then let's take our legs wide, pretty wide. Toes can be facing forward or a little bit out, like 45 degrees. And we'll just shake, shaking the butt out, the hips releasing through the low belly. You can take your arms up. Just giving yourself permission. You can come onto your toes just to shake it out. We hold so much here in this area. So just shaking. Oh. And then we'll ring the temple bell. So bring your feet in a bit more. Arms are down. And we're just shifting upper body side to side and allowing the arms to follow. On your exhales, maybe you want to incorporate some sound to release. And you can bring your temple bell ringing to stillness. And then we'll just slide the hips down. So coming into a Malasana, we're pretty early on in the practice, so be gentle with yourself. You might use a prop to support your hips. That's what I'm going to do. Palms pressing in together, elbows pressing into the knees, knees into elbows. And if it feels good for you, you can bring your gaze low or even close your eyes. Imagining your crown stacked over the center of your chest, stacked over your hips. And now we'll start to intentionally breathe deep, inhaling into the low belly, filling all the way up, and exhaling, completely emptying yourself. Feel free to exhale with open mouth or through your nose, your choice. And here we are in this prayer pose, Malasana, mala like prayer beads, mala beads, and asana meaning pose or posture. So this is a perfect moment as we're connecting deeply with our breath to listen for an intention to be set for your flow this evening, for your evening. And once your intention is clear to you, you can move any props that you were on. And we'll just come onto our seats. Go to work. And let's roll out the wrists. You can even take a little wave in your spine like me. Just releasing that posture and starting to embody the intention that you set. Ideally, your intention is something very short and simple. My intention for this flow, for my evening, is to soften. See if you can embody that, just intuitively moving. Embodying your intention, weaving your breath through the postures. We'll plant our hands behind us. Soles of the feet are down. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width. And we'll just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Taking your time. The day is coming to a close. We have done enough. Minding your breath, bringing the mind back to the breath. And from here, grab your blocks or your pillow or your folded up blanket. And we're going to place it behind us for a heart opener. This will be our first kind of yin posture. So blocks are in a T shape, one for your upper back, one for your head. If you're using a folded up blanket, you can roll it and then just place it like this. Same with the pillow, just position it like that. And then we'll lower down. So you want your upper back to be fully supported with the first block, and then your back of your head is fully supported by the other block. And you can stretch your legs out long here. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Arms are wide like a T. Inhale. Exhale to soften, to melt, to relax, maybe adjust. And we'll spend about 2 to 3 minutes here in this heart opening posture. Allowing yourself to deeply connect inward. And to fully fill yourself up with air on the inhales. And fully release through the exhale. Soften through your jaw. Allow all the little muscles in your face, your chest, your rib cage, your entire body be soft. And on your next inhale, just bring some gentle movement in through the hands, the feet. Reach your arms up overhead. I'm getting a really big stretch here. You can hook your thumbs, pull your hands apart, feeling your shoulder blades go down and back. Big belly breath here. Exhale, stick your tongue out. And release, squeezing your elbows down toward your rib cage. Moving very slow here as we explore the range of motion in our shoulders. And you can roll your wrists out. We'll plant the soles of the feet. And let's roll off. So using the support of your arms, roll off the blocks. And we'll just set them aside for now. And then come onto your back. And from here, we're going to explore some hip opening. So we'll start by squeezing the right knee into the chest, straightening through the left leg. Press down through that heel. Wind removing pose, right side. Breathing deep here. Roll out your ankles. And from here, inhale, straighten through the right leg. Fingers are interlaced behind. Deep belly breaths, pressing your right leg into your hands and simultaneously pulling that leg towards your face. And actually now you can release any kind of like pulling or resistance. And just let your leg be in your hands. Few more breaths here, just allowing the back of the right leg to soften, to relax with every breath. Release that leg, and then we'll just draw some circles with the knee. Yeah. And go the other way. Oiling up this hip joint. Great. Plant your left foot. We'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. And before we go for reclined pigeon, press your legs away from you. Take a breath. And with that right foot nice and flex, we'll exhale, hugging this left leg in. The hips and the jaw are interconnected. And so as we work with our hips and release, check in with your jaw and see if you can also soften here. Always remembering there's nothing to prove in any of these postures or any yoga class. So you can always back out, minding your edge, and just being grateful for whatever your body is right now. Being compassionate and gentle with yourself. If you are noticing judgment, mind, just coming back to your breath. We'll release the left foot down and we'll just stretch long through the arms and the legs. And we'll hug our left knee in now, taking that sequence on the second side, rolling out the ankles, and there's weight through your right heel. Hugging your left knee in towards your armpit, your left armpit. And breathing deeply here. Soft through all the muscles in your face. Oh, the power went out. Well, at least we have candlelight. And we'll inhale to straighten the left leg up. Interlacing fingers behind the leg. And we'll take a few breaths where we're pressing leg and hands into each other, breathing. Feeling your left and right hip, low back anchor down. And now you can soften any resistance between your leg and your hands. And just allow for a gentle opening as you breathe. And on an exhale, we'll just plant the right foot and cross our left ankle over the right knee, taking a breath to press both legs away. And then we'll hug the right leg in, so you can hold behind your knee. That might be good. Or you can also hold on top of your leg under your knee. Settling in and allowing yourself to soften everywhere that you can. Bringing your mind back to your breath when you notice. And on your next inhale, release, and we'll just stretch long through the whole body again. And then exhale just to rest and notice. Maybe you can feel the fresh blood flow circulating. And we'll roll out the wrists and the ankles, both directions. And now we'll grab a prop. So I'm going to be using a block. Again, use your pillow or your folded up blanket if you have that. We'll plant the soles of the feet, and then we'll just lift our hips coming into bridge, supported bridge pose. So I have my block on the lowest setting. Don't need too much height for this one. And this is a gentle inversion. Great posture for deep relaxation, for supporting and opening the low back. Many, many, many more good things that you might feel as you breathe and melts into it. Allowing your eyes to be closed. And really going into your inner depth. Now you can stay here. If you'd like, you can straighten through your legs and go slow just to feel, make sure it feels okay on your low back. Straighten out through your legs for a nice hip flexor opener. You can bring your hands to your womb, your low belly if you like. And if you had your legs straight, go ahead and bring them back in, planting the soles of your feet. On an inhale, we'll lift the hips and remove the block and just set your hips down. Might feel nice to hug your knees in, rocking side to side. Great. Well, you know what? Let's do our oiling up of the hip on this side. So straighten your right leg, and then we'll circle through this left hip. And go the other way. Good. And from here, we'll just roll off onto one side, taking a moment to balance the blood pressure. And on an inhale, mindfully press yourself up to a seat. And we'll move into a nice deep hamstring stretch. So grab your props if you like extra support. And we'll inhale to lengthen the spine up. And exhale to fold forward any amount. So we're not forcing, just finding our edge. And then using your props to meet yourself where you're at. You can allow your crown to drop. Deep belly breaths here. And soften through the jaw. On an inhale, very slowly, position your palms down so you can press yourself up. Really taking your time as you come out of the forward fold and taking a breath here to plant your palms, Dandasana, staff pose, and just straighten through your spine. Great. And now we'll bring the soles of our feet together, moving through butterfly. Plant your palms and lift your hips, suspending. And before we go into our next posture, we'll just plant the hands behind us, fingertips facing in. Then you'll plant the soles of your feet about hip width distance. Inhale, reverse tabletop. Lift your hips about parallel to the ground. Maybe allow your head to drop. And you don't need to let your head drop. You can have your gaze forward. But if it feels good, let it hang. And exhale to release. Good. And now we're going to be coming into a very deep hip opener, inner thigh opener. So if you're on carpet or something squishy, all good. If you're on something hard and your knees can get sensitive, you just want to grab a blanket. So we'll be moving into frog pose. So we'll start in tabletop, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. And then we'll just walk the knees out wide and have a 90-degree bend in your knees and then in your ankles. And take a few moments to kind of nestle your way into your edge. And again, this is a yin. We'll be holding this yin style. So sensation wise, we're looking for like a 4 out of 10. This way we can fully inhale, fully exhale. We can hang out here for about 10 breaths. If you'd like to bring the ground closer and you need to, you can use your props. You might be just reaching your elbows down to the mat. How is that? Notice your mind in a posture like this. And then just guide yourself back to your breath. And on your next inhale, we'll mindfully, slowly transition out. So moving any props, planting the palms. And I like to come out by bringing my feet toward one another, knees. And then we'll just go into a child's pose. You can have your knees together if you're looking for some extra low back love, or you can have your knees wide if you'd like to continue working flexibility. And you can have your arms reaching forward, elbows relaxed down on the mat, third eye, forehead relaxed down. And soften through the jaw, through the hips. On an inhale, you can start to press into your hands, lifting, coming to take a seat on your heels, having a couple breaths here to feel. And from here, we will make our way back onto our backs for our final posture before we take some rest and integration. So knees are into the chest, can rock your knees forward and back a couple times. And then we'll just bring our arms out to a T. Drop the knees over to the right. Supine twist. Ah. You can cactus shape your arms if you'd like more of a heart opener. You can play with having your gaze in either direction and just notice how it feels. And bring your gaze back center. Knees up through the middle. And take a couple breaths to just rock. And then we'll set up for supine twist to the left. So knees in towards the chest. And then shift them over. Adjusting your arms and your gaze. And then melting down into the pose. We'll come back through the middle. And from here, we are all pow ready for Shavasana. So if your low back is looking for some extra support, you can have your feet wide, knees together. Otherwise, you can take traditional Shavasana, legs out, arms out, palms face up. And we'll spend about a minute here, allowing all of this good effort to land, to settle, to be received on a deeper level. Deepen your breathing. Move your body slowly. Remember the intention that you set. We'll inhale to take a deep stretch from fingertips to toe tips. Good evening. And then exhale, knees to chest. Give yourself a hug. You did it. And when you're ready, come off to one side. Taking a breath here to mark this transition. And on an inhale, press yourself up to seat. Noticing how you're feeling now. Noticing your physical body. Noticing your breath. Notice your mind. And your emotion. And we'll give ourselves a hug, embracing, loving, being gentle, caring towards yourself, towards ourselves. Taking our time. When you're ready, bring your palms to touch. Anjali Mudra, prayer at the heart. And we will close our practice and set this intention further into motion throughout the rest of our evening with one sound of Om. Exhale. Inhale to chant. Om. Namaste. I'd love to hear your intention, how this felt for you, and anything else you'd like to share. As always, if you vibe, like, and subscribe, please. Support free yoga on the internet. And I'll see you again soon. Aloha.